If you want to gather honey, don't kick over the beehive. Most people think success comes from talent, intelligence, or hard work. But what if the real secret isn't what you know? It's how you treat people. In How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie argues something radical. Human behavior is driven more by emotion and ego than by logic. If you want influence, opportunity, loyalty, or leadership, you must first understand human nature. This isn't a book about manipulation. It's a manual for mastering relationships. In this deep dive, we're not just summarizing Carnegie's principles. We're going to break down the psychology behind them, test them against modern life in 2026, and uncover what most summaries miss: where they work, where they fail, and how to apply them intelligently. Who should read this? If you work in sales, leadership, content creation, or simply want stronger relationships, you'll love it. If you prefer blunt honesty over diplomacy and think people skills are fake, you might hate it. But either way, by the end of this, you'll see people differently. Dale Carnegie didn't start as an expert in psychology. He was a struggling salesman who discovered that persuasion and genuine human connection consistently outperformed pressure and hard tactics. His experiences teaching public speaking and interpersonal skills at night classes led him to codify these principles into How to Win Friends and Influence People, first published in 1936, during the Great Depression. In a world of scarce jobs and fierce competition, the ability to connect, influence, and lead others wasn't optional. It was survival. Why it matters today. While the context has shifted, human behavior hasn't. Emotional intelligence, empathy, and relationship building are still the most valuable skills in workplaces, social networks, and leadership roles. Key terms to know. Fundamental desire for importance. Everyone wants to feel valued. Emotional validation. Acknowledging feelings before influencing behavior. Constructive criticism. Correcting without creating resentment. This layer sets the stage for understanding why Carnegie's lessons endure. Book overview. How to Win Friends and Influence People is fundamentally about human connection as the foundation of success. Carnegie argues that logic alone rarely persuades. It is empathy, respect, and understanding that win trust and influence. The book teaches that influencing others isn't about manipulation. It's about aligning with human nature. At its core, the book is divided into principles for three main goals: making people like you, influencing their decisions, and leading without resentment. Through real-life anecdotes and timeless examples, Carnegie demonstrates that simple behaviors, like remembering names, genuinely listening, or giving sincere praise, have outsized impacts on relationships. This isn't just a guide for salespeople or leaders, it's a roadmap for anyone seeking stronger personal or professional bonds. By understanding what drives people emotionally, you can navigate conflicts, foster loyalty, and create opportunities that logic alone cannot achieve. Book's structure. How to Win Friends and Influence People is organized into 4 main parts, each focusing on different aspects of human interaction. 1. Fundamental techniques in handling people. 3 principles. 2. 6 ways to make people like you. 6 principles. 3. How to win people to your way of thinking. 12 principles. 4. Be a leader. How to change people without giving offense or arousing resentment. 9 principles. Altogether, the book teaches 30 timeless principles for building influence, trust, and strong relationships in both personal and professional life. Part 1. Fundamental techniques in handling people. Principle 1. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. Most people think the quickest way to correct behavior is to point out faults. But what if criticism actually makes people defensive and resentful? Dale Carnegie argues that criticism is almost always counterproductive. People rarely change because they are told they're wrong. Instead, they dig in their heels. Carnegie illustrates this with historical and business examples, showing that even leaders like Abraham Lincoln avoided direct condemnation to maintain loyalty. Beneath the surface, this principle recognizes that humans are driven by ego and a desire to feel valued. Criticism triggers defensiveness and often worsens relationships. The real influence comes from respect, empathy, and understanding. At work, instead of saying, "You messed up this report," you could ask, "Can we explore ways to make this stronger?" On social media, avoid public shaming. Private guidance is more effective. In 2026, with remote work and online collaboration, criticism spreads faster, so tact is even more crucial. This principle may feel too soft. Some situations require direct accountability. Still, over-criticism usually backfires. If you remember only one thing, criticism rarely changes behavior, respect does. Principle 2. Give honest and sincere appreciation. Everyone craves recognition, yet few receive it genuinely. What if the difference between average and outstanding influence is simply praise? Carnegie emphasizes that people respond positively to sincere appreciation, not flattery. Recognition taps into the human need to feel important, motivating better behavior and loyalty. Examples range from business managers to historical figures using praise to inspire action. This principle highlights the psychology of reinforcement. Humans repeat behaviors that make them feel valued. Appreciation works on emotions, not logic, creating goodwill and trust. In a team meeting, thanking someone for their unique contribution strengthens morale. On social media, meaningful comments foster real engagement rather than empty likes. In a culture of remote work and fleeting online interactions, genuine acknowledgement requires effort and personalization. Overpraising insincerely can backfire. Carnegie stresses authenticity over generic compliments. People crave recognition. Sincere appreciation unlocks influence and loyalty. Principle 3. Arouse in the other person an eager want. What if you could inspire action not by commanding, but by appealing to desire? Most people fail because they sell themselves, not benefits. Carnegie explains that influence works best when people act out of their own interests. To persuade, understand what the other person wants and show how it aligns with your goal. He shares examples from business negotiations and leadership to illustrate the concept. At its core, this principle leverages intrinsic motivation. Humans are naturally self-interested, so appealing to their needs and desires is more effective than issuing orders or arguing logic. In sales, emphasize how a product solves a customer's problem. In relationships, show how compromise benefits both parties. Managers can frame tasks in terms of growth opportunities, not obligations. In 2026, with information overload, capturing attention requires precise alignment with interests rather than generic persuasion. This can feel manipulative if misunderstood. The key is authenticity and mutual benefit. To influence others, connect your goals to what they genuinely want. Part 2. 6 ways to make people like you. Principle 1. Become genuinely interested in other people. Most people try to be interesting, but what if the secret to being liked is simply being interested? Dale Carnegie explains that genuine curiosity about others creates instant warmth. People respond positively when they feel seen and valued. Instead of trying to impress, ask questions and listen. At a psychological level, this taps into the human need for significance. When someone shows authentic interest, it lowers defenses and builds trust naturally. In networking events or workplace meetings, ask thoughtful questions instead of dominating the conversation. On social media, engage meaningfully rather than self-promoting constantly. In 2026, with attention spans shrinking, focused listening is rare and therefore powerful. If forced, this can feel transactional. The interest must be genuine. People like those who make them feel important. Principle 2. Smile. Can something as simple as a smile really change outcomes? Carnegie insists it can. A smile signals friendliness and safety. Carnegie argues that facial expression influences how others perceive you, and even how you feel yourself. Smiling activates emotional contagion. Humans mirror emotions subconsciously, so positivity spreads quickly. In interviews, meetings, or customer service roles, a warm expression increases trust. Even on video calls, a smile changes tone instantly. In remote communication, visual cues matter more. A neutral face on Zoom can appear cold. Smiling alone won't fix poor behavior. It must match sincerity. A simple smile can open doors words cannot. Principle 3. Remember that a person's name is, to that person, the sweetest sound. Why does hearing your own name instantly grab your attention, even in a noisy room? Dale Carnegie explains that remembering and using someone's name builds immediate goodwill. A name represents identity and individuality. Forgetting it can feel dismissive. Remembering it signals respect and care. Psychologically, a name is tied to self-worth. When someone uses it correctly, it affirms recognition. It subtly communicates, "You matter enough for me to remember you." In meetings, address colleagues by name. In emails, personalize instead of writing generic greetings. Even customer service improves when names are used thoughtfully. In a digital world of automated messages and mass communication, personalization stands out more than ever. Overusing someone's name unnaturally can feel manipulative. Authenticity matters. Remembering a name is remembering a person's importance. Principle 4. Be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. Most conversations aren't dialogues, they're competitions. What if influence begins with silence? Carnegie argues that attentive listening creates stronger bonds than impressive speaking. By encouraging others to share their thoughts and experiences, you make them feel valued and understood. Humans are wired to enjoy talking about themselves. It activates reward centers in the brain. Listening without interruption builds trust and emotional safety. In relationships, instead of offering quick advice, ask follow-up questions. In the workplace, let team members explain ideas fully before responding. In 2026, distractions from phones and notifications make deep listening rare and therefore powerful. Listening alone isn't enough. Action must follow understanding. The best conversationalists are the best listeners. Principle 5. Talk in terms of the other person's interests. Most people communicate to express themselves. But what if real influence comes from speaking about what they care about? Dale Carnegie argues that conversations become powerful when centered on the other person's passions, goals, and concerns. Instead of pushing your agenda, frame discussions around their interests. This creates engagement and cooperation naturally. At its core, this principle reflects a basic human truth. Attention follows relevance. When a topic connects to someone's identity or ambitions, their emotional investment rises instantly. Influence flows from alignment, not pressure. In business, tailor pitches to client priorities. In relationships, discuss what excites your partner instead of dominating with your own updates. On LinkedIn, share content your audience values. With content overload in 2026, relevance determines whether anyone listens at all. If done insincerely, it can feel strategic rather than genuine. Speak to what matters to them, not what matters to you. Principle 6. Make the other person feel important. And do it sincerely. What if the deepest human craving isn't money or success, but significance? Dale Carnegie concludes this section with a powerful idea. Everyone wants to feel important. The way to win people is not through flattery, but through sincere recognition of their value. Genuine respect builds loyalty, cooperation, and long-term influence. This principle touches a core psychological need, the desire for status and acknowledgement. When people feel valued, they become more open, generous, and engaged. It's not manipulation, it's emotional intelligence. In leadership, credit your team publicly. In relationships, acknowledge effort, not just results. Even small gestures, like thanking someone specifically, can strengthen bonds. In 2026's performance-driven culture, many feel invisible. Authentic appreciation stands out more than ever. The line between appreciation and flattery is thin. Sincerity is essential. Make people feel important and mean it. Part 3. How to win people to your way of thinking. Principle 1. The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. Most people believe winning an argument proves intelligence. But what if winning the argument actually means losing the relationship? In How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie argues that arguments rarely change minds. Even if you win, the other person often feels embarrassed or resentful. Instead of confrontation, seek understanding and common ground. This principle exposes a psychological truth. Ego defends identity. When someone feels attacked, logic shuts down. Avoiding arguments preserves dignity and keeps communication open. On social media debates or workplace disagreements, ask clarifying questions instead of escalating. Shift from proving right to finding resolution. In 2026's polarized culture, outrage spreads quickly. Choosing calm dialogue is increasingly rare and powerful. Avoiding arguments doesn't mean avoiding necessary boundaries. Some conflicts require firm stands. Winning arguments often costs more than it gains. Principle 2. Show respect for the other person's opinions. Never say you're wrong. Most debates start with someone insisting they're right. But what if saying you're wrong instantly shuts down conversation? Dale Carnegie emphasizes that directly telling someone they're wrong breeds defensiveness. Instead, acknowledge their perspective and gently guide the discussion. Respectful dialogue fosters openness and cooperation. This principle works because humans are wired to protect their ego. Confrontation triggers resistance, even if your argument is stronger. Influence comes from validating feelings first, then presenting ideas. In meetings, instead of saying, "That's incorrect," try, "I see your point." Another way to look at it is, on social media or email, avoid blunt negation. Frame suggestions constructively. In 2026's instant feedback world, written words carry extra weight. Tone and phrasing are more critical than ever. This doesn't mean tolerating misinformation. Careful phrasing is key. Respect opinions. Never trigger defensiveness with "you're wrong." Principle 3. If you are wrong, admit it quickly and emphatically. Few things disarm tension faster than honesty. But what if admitting a mistake is actually a path to influence? Dale Carnegie teaches that owning your errors immediately and sincerely earns respect and diffuses conflict. People are more likely to forgive and cooperate when you admit fault rather than deflect blame. This principle leverages human psychology. Humility signals trustworthiness. Admitting mistakes reduces defensiveness in others and creates a collaborative rather than adversarial dynamic. It also models accountability, encouraging reciprocal honesty. In the workplace, if you mishandle a project, acknowledge it openly, then propose a solution. On social media or personal disputes, saying, "I was wrong," can turn a heated argument into constructive dialogue. In 2026, when online conflicts amplify, public admissions of fault can humanize you and prevent escalation. Over-admitting minor issues can reduce authority, balance sincerity with confidence. Admitting mistakes quickly builds trust and diffuses tension. Principle 4. Begin in a friendly way. Most conflicts escalate because they start with defensiveness. But what if the way you open a conversation determined its outcome? Dale Carnegie argues that starting interactions with warmth and friendliness sets a cooperative tone. People are far more receptive to ideas when approached positively rather than with aggression, criticism, or demands. This principle taps into basic human psychology. Emotional context shapes rational judgment. A friendly opening lowers defenses, increases trust, and makes persuasion possible without resistance. Tone precedes content. How you begin often matters more than what you say. In meetings or negotiations, start with compliments, common ground, or humor before addressing difficult topics. In emails or calls, a polite, personable introduction is more effective than blunt directives. In 2026's fast-paced digital interactions, first impressions happen instantly. Friendly openings online can prevent misunderstandings and promote collaboration. Friendliness must be authentic. A fake smile or flattery can backfire. Begin every interaction with genuine warmth to open minds and hearts. Principle 5. Get the other person saying yes, yes immediately. Most people start discussions with disagreement. But what if the key to influence is getting early agreement? Dale Carnegie explains that beginning with points the other person already agrees with creates momentum. This yes pattern encourages openness to new ideas and reduces resistance. By establishing common ground first, you make it easier for them to consider your perspective. Psychologically, agreement releases positive reinforcement and primes the brain for cooperation. People are more likely to continue agreeing once they have said yes repeatedly, making persuasion smoother and more natural. In sales, start by highlighting shared goals before proposing solutions. In team meetings, acknowledge shared values before suggesting changes. Even in debates, begin with statements both parties accept to build rapport. In 2026, with instant online disagreements, securing small early agreements can prevent escalation and foster collaboration. This technique can feel manipulative if overused. Sincerity is essential. Start with points of agreement to create a path toward influence. Principle 6. Let the other person do a great deal of the talking. Most people think persuasion is about convincing others. But what if influence comes from silence instead? Dale Carnegie emphasizes that letting others speak freely makes them feel heard and understood. By encouraging them to share their ideas, concerns, and reasoning, you gain insight and foster goodwill, making them more receptive to your perspective. This principle leverages human psychology. People value those who listen. Talking stimulates their ego and reinforces emotional ownership of ideas, which makes them more likely to accept guidance without resistance. In workplace meetings, ask open-ended questions and let team members elaborate before offering solutions. In negotiations, allow the other side to explain priorities first. On social media, encourage dialogue instead of dominating conversations. In 2026, with digital distractions and shrinking attention spans, giving someone space to speak is increasingly rare and powerful. Listening must be active and engaged. Silent nodding without understanding isn't effective. People trust and follow those who genuinely let them speak. Principle 7. Let the other person feel that the idea is theirs. Most people try to persuade by presenting their own ideas. But what if the fastest way to agreement is to let others take ownership? Dale Carnegie teaches that people are far more committed to ideas they believe are theirs. By guiding conversations subtly and framing suggestions in a way that allows others to claim them, you increase buy-in and cooperation. Psychologically, ownership triggers commitment. Humans naturally defend and promote their own ideas. When someone feels an idea originates from them, resistance diminishes and motivation to act rises. In the workplace, present options and let colleagues refine or choose the direction. In personal relationships, suggest solutions that allow others to contribute their perspective. In social media or team projects, co-create ideas to boost engagement and accountability. In 2026's collaborative and hybrid environments, shared ownership is crucial for alignment and team productivity. This requires subtlety. Over-manipulation is transparent and breeds distrust. People embrace ideas they feel they created. Principle 8. Try honestly to see things from the other person's point of view. Most conflicts arise because people assume their perspective is obvious. But what if understanding someone else first is the key to persuasion? Dale Carnegie emphasizes that empathy is essential in influencing others. By genuinely attempting to understand their thoughts, feelings, and motivations, you build trust and reduce resistance. People are more open to ideas when they feel heard and understood. This principle recognizes that human behavior is largely driven by perception and emotion. Seeing through another's eyes creates connection and reduces friction, enabling collaboration without confrontation. In negotiations, ask, "How do you see this situation?" before proposing solutions. In leadership, consider employees' workloads and perspectives. In relationships, validate feelings before suggesting alternatives. In 2026, polarized opinions and online debates make empathetic listening rare but highly influential. Empathy must be genuine. Superficial attempts are transparent and can backfire. Influence grows when you truly understand the other person's perspective. Principle 9. Be sympathetic with the other person's ideas and desires. Most people argue by proving others wrong, but what if showing sympathy could accomplish far more than confrontation? Dale Carnegie teaches that acknowledging and validating the other person's ideas and desires fosters cooperation. People are more willing to listen and adapt when their viewpoints are treated with respect, even if you disagree. This principle leverages the psychological need for validation. Sympathy reduces defensive reactions, lowers emotional barriers, and makes people receptive to alternative ideas without feeling threatened. It's about connecting emotionally before reasoning logically. In workplace discussions, acknowledge concerns before proposing changes. In negotiations, recognize the other party's goals before presenting your own. In personal relationships, empathize with desires or frustrations to foster collaboration and compromise. In 2026, online debates and remote work often strip away nuance. Expressing sympathy intentionally can prevent conflicts and build trust. Sympathy must be sincere. Empty gestures are obvious and erode credibility. Validate others' ideas and desires first to open the door to influence. Principle 10. Appeal to the nobler motives. Most persuasion focuses on self-interest. But what if appealing to someone's higher ideals could inspire stronger action? Dale Carnegie explains that people like to believe they act from honorable motives. By framing requests or ideas in terms of values like fairness, integrity, or generosity, you inspire cooperation and pride in the other person's actions. This principle taps into identity-driven behavior. Humans are motivated by how they see themselves. Appealing to nobler motives aligns requests with their self-image, making them more willing to act voluntarily. In leadership, emphasize team impact and purpose rather than just deadlines. In marketing, highlight ethical benefits of a product. In personal relationships, frame requests around shared values rather than convenience. In 2026, with widespread skepticism and transactional interactions, appealing to higher ideals can differentiate you and create genuine commitment. Overly idealistic appeals can seem manipulative if not matched by sincerity. People act nobly when their higher values are acknowledged and appealed to. Principle 11. Dramatize your ideas. Most people rely on plain facts to persuade. But what if presenting ideas with flair made them unforgettable? Dale Carnegie argues that ideas stick when they are presented in a vivid, compelling way. Stories, analogies, or dramatic examples capture attention, engage emotions, and make concepts more persuasive than abstract reasoning alone. This principle leverages the brain's natural preference for narrative and imagery. Facts alone are often ignored. Emotions and storytelling create mental hooks that influence attitudes and decisions. In presentations, use anecdotes or visual examples to illustrate key points. In sales, demonstrate product benefits through real-world scenarios. On social media, combine data with storytelling to make messages memorable. In 2026's fast-scrolling digital culture, dramatic and relatable storytelling cuts through noise far more effectively than plain statements. Over-dramatization can overshadow substance. Balance entertainment with truth. Make your ideas unforgettable by presenting them vividly and emotionally. Principle 12. Throw down a challenge. Most people perform at an average level because they aren't inspired. But what if a well-framed challenge could unlock extraordinary effort? Dale Carnegie explains that people are motivated by opportunities to prove themselves. Presenting goals as a challenge, rather than a task, stimulates engagement, pride, and a desire to excel. Carnegie illustrates this with examples of businesses and leaders who motivated teams by framing work as a contest or test of skill. This principle taps into intrinsic motivation and competitiveness. Humans are naturally drawn to situations where they can demonstrate competence and achieve recognition. A challenge reframes effort as meaningful and rewarding. In the workplace, create friendly competitions to increase productivity. In learning or training, present tasks as achievable challenges. In social settings, gamify participation to boost engagement. In 2026, with remote teams and digital distractions, framing tasks as challenges helps maintain motivation and accountability. Challenges can demotivate if perceived as unattainable or unfair. Inspire action by framing goals as engaging challenges. Part 4. Be a leader. How to change people without giving offense or arousing resentment. Principle 1. Begin with praise and honest appreciation. Most corrective feedback starts with criticism, which often triggers defensiveness. But what if starting with praise changed the outcome entirely? Dale Carnegie emphasizes that before pointing out mistakes, acknowledge what someone is doing well. Honest appreciation opens hearts, reduces resistance, and prepares people to accept guidance without resentment. This principle recognizes that humans respond emotionally before rationally. By highlighting strengths first, leaders align correction with positivity, making people more receptive and motivated to improve. In the workplace, begin performance reviews by praising achievements before discussing areas of growth. In teaching or coaching, note effort and progress before giving corrective instructions. Even at home, acknowledge contributions before addressing missteps. In 2026, where remote communication often feels transactional, starting with genuine praise builds trust and engagement. Praise must be sincere. Generic compliments are ineffective and can backfire. Lead with genuine praise to soften correction and inspire improvement. Principle 2. Call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. Most leaders point out mistakes bluntly, often creating resentment. But what if subtle guidance could correct behavior without conflict? Dale Carnegie advises addressing errors indirectly through questions, suggestions, or storytelling, rather than direct criticism. This approach reduces defensiveness while still communicating the needed correction. Carnegie uses historical and business examples to show how indirect feedback encourages learning without damaging relationships. Psychologically, people naturally protect their ego. Indirect feedback bypasses this defense mechanism, making them more receptive. It's about guiding others to self-realization rather than imposing judgment. In the workplace, ask, "How might we approach this differently next time?" instead of saying, "You did this wrong." In personal relationships, share examples or ask reflective questions rather than pointing out flaws directly. In 2026, with instant messaging and remote work, indirect phrasing avoids misinterpretation and preserves goodwill. Indirect feedback can be misunderstood if too vague. Clarity must balance subtlety. Correct mistakes gently by guiding others to realize them themselves. Principle 3. Talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. Most people avoid admitting their own errors, thinking it weakens authority. But what if sharing your mistakes actually made your guidance more persuasive? Dale Carnegie explains that when leaders acknowledge their own faults first, it humanizes them and lowers defenses. This creates an environment where the other person is more open to reflection and improvement, making criticism easier to accept. This principle leverages humility as a psychological tool. By admitting your own imperfections, you reduce ego-driven resistance, model accountability, and foster trust. People are more willing to change when they feel they're not being judged. In the workplace, start feedback with, "I've struggled with this myself," before suggesting improvements. In personal relationships, admit errors before pointing out issues. This encourages collaborative problem-solving. In 2026, transparency and authenticity are highly valued, especially in leadership and remote communication. Oversharing minor faults can undermine authority. Balance humility with confidence. Admit your mistakes first to make your guidance easier to accept. Principle 4. Ask questions. Instead of giving direct orders, most leaders give instructions, assuming authority ensures compliance. But what if asking questions motivates people more effectively than commands? Dale Carnegie teaches that framing guidance as questions empowers others to participate in decision-making. Instead of ordering, you invite collaboration, which increases buy-in and reduces resistance. Carnegie illustrates this with examples of managers who achieved better results by guiding teams through questions rather than directives. This principle leverages the psychological need for autonomy. People resist when they feel controlled, but questions stimulate critical thinking and ownership, fostering cooperation and intrinsic motivation. In the workplace, instead of saying, "Do it this way," ask, "How do you think we could approach this?" In personal relationships, use questions to explore solutions together rather than imposing them. In 2026's remote and hybrid environments, questioning encourages engagement and prevents miscommunication. Excessive questioning can frustrate if perceived as indecision. Balance with clear guidance. Ask questions to inspire ownership and cooperation instead of issuing commands. Principle 5. Let the other person save face. Most corrections make people feel embarrassed or defensive. But what if preserving dignity was more important than proving a point? Dale Carnegie emphasizes that when offering correction or feedback, it's crucial to allow the other person to maintain self-respect. Avoiding humiliation fosters trust, prevents resentment, and encourages cooperation. Carnegie shows that leaders who preserve others' dignity inspire loyalty and long-term commitment. Psychologically, humans guard their self-image fiercely. When someone feels shamed, they resist and disengage. By letting them save face, you reduce defensive reactions and create a constructive environment for change. At work, give feedback privately and frame it positively. In personal relationships, avoid calling out mistakes publicly. Even in online interactions, acknowledge perspectives respectfully to maintain rapport. In 2026, with social media amplifying mistakes instantly, protecting someone's dignity is more critical than ever. Preserving face must be genuine. Superficial praise can be seen as manipulative. Let others save face to maintain trust and foster cooperation. Principle 6. Praise the slightest improvement and praise every improvement. Most people assume praise is only for major achievements. But what if recognizing small progress could inspire continuous growth? Dale Carnegie teaches that consistent, sincere recognition of even minor improvements motivates people far more than criticism. Highlighting progress encourages repetition of positive behavior and builds confidence over time. Carnegie provides examples of managers and leaders who transformed performance by celebrating small wins. This principle leverages positive reinforcement. Humans respond to acknowledgement. When progress is noticed, it triggers pride, satisfaction, and motivation. Regular praise fosters a growth mindset and strengthens relationships. In the workplace, acknowledge team members' incremental contributions. In personal development, celebrate small habits or milestones. In education or coaching, recognize every step forward to encourage continued effort. In 2026, with remote work and digital communication, visible praise combats disengagement and isolation. Insincere or generic praise can feel manipulative. Authenticity is key. Recognize every improvement, no matter how small, to inspire continued growth. Principle 7. Give the other person a fine reputation to live up to. Most people criticize mistakes. But what if highlighting someone's potential inspired better behavior than pointing out flaws? Dale Carnegie explains that when you communicate confidence in someone's abilities or character, they strive to meet that expectation. By framing people as capable, trustworthy, or talented, you motivate them to live up to the reputation you've set. This principle works on identity psychology. People act in ways consistent with how they believe others see them. Positive expectations guide behavior subtly, creating accountability and boosting self-esteem simultaneously. In management, tell employees, "I know you can handle this project excellently," rather than micromanaging. In parenting or mentoring, emphasize potential and strengths to encourage growth. Even on social media, recognizing someone's abilities publicly can inspire pride and motivation. In 2026, with frequent online judgment and comparison, giving someone a positive reputation can reinforce confidence and loyalty. Overstating abilities can create pressure. Praise must be realistic. Set high expectations through belief in others, and they will rise to meet them. Principle 8. Use encouragement. Make the fault seem easy to correct. Most people feel overwhelmed by criticism, thinking mistakes are permanent. But what if showing that improvement is achievable inspired action instead? Dale Carnegie emphasizes that when addressing errors, framing them as easy to fix encourages people to try. Encouragement fosters confidence, reduces defensiveness, and motivates learning, rather than creating shame or fear. This principle taps into self-efficacy psychology. People act more effectively when they believe success is attainable. By making faults seem manageable, you transform challenges into opportunities, which increases effort and engagement. In the workplace, instead of saying, "You messed this up," say, "With a few adjustments, this can be perfect." In teaching or coaching, break down problems and highlight achievable steps. In personal relationships, reassure others that mistakes are fixable. In 2026, constant comparison online can make people feel incapable. Encouragement is more vital than ever. Oversimplifying challenges may feel patronizing. Balance encouragement with realistic expectations. Make faults seem easy to correct to inspire effort and growth. Principle 9. Make the other person happy about doing the thing you suggest. Most people give instructions expecting compliance. But what if the key to cooperation is making others want to act? Dale Carnegie explains that people respond best when they see personal benefit or satisfaction in following a suggestion. By framing tasks in a way that aligns with their desires, you motivate action willingly rather than through obligation or pressure. This principle leverages intrinsic motivation. Humans are naturally driven by perceived benefits and personal gain. When people feel a sense of purpose or enjoyment in completing a task, engagement and effort increase. Influence comes from alignment, not authority. In the workplace, show how a project helps employees grow or gain recognition. In family life, explain how a chore benefits everyone. In marketing, highlight how a product improves the user's life. In 2026, with more autonomous and remote work, making tasks personally meaningful is essential for motivation. If overdone, this can appear manipulative. Authenticity is crucial. Frame suggestions so people feel happy and motivated to act on them. The illusion versus reality. The illusion. Most people believe that success and influence come from sheer motivation or willpower. We're told that if we try hard enough, people will like us, employees will follow instructions, and relationships will flourish. Motivational quotes, pep talks, and personal determination are celebrated as the keys to winning friends and persuading others. The common belief is that enthusiasm and effort alone are sufficient to change people or outcomes. The reality. Dale Carnegie flips this assumption. Motivation is unreliable, and influence is rooted in human psychology, not force of will. People are naturally defensive, ego-driven, and self-interested. Criticism triggers resistance. Flattery without sincerity fails. Arguments rarely change minds. Real influence comes from understanding human needs, recognition, appreciation, identity, and emotional validation. Instead of commanding or motivating externally, Carnegie shows that aligning actions with these internal drivers creates cooperation and lasting behavioral change. Influence is strategic empathy, not raw energy or effort. The hidden layer. What most summaries miss is that Carnegie's work isn't just a set of techniques. It's a psychological blueprint for relationships. He uncovers the subtle mechanisms behind human behavior, why people respond to praise over criticism, why ownership of ideas creates commitment, and why intrinsic motivation is stronger than external pressure. Applying these principles requires intentional emotional intelligence, reading situations, observing reactions, and tailoring responses thoughtfully. In 2026, where distractions, online interactions, and remote work dilute personal connection, understanding these hidden layers is what separates temporary compliance from genuine influence. Carnegie's lessons go beyond being nice. They teach how to ethically align human behavior with mutual benefit, creating trust, loyalty, and long-term success. This framework exposes the illusion of motivation, the reality of psychology, and the nuanced layer of emotional intelligence behind true influence. Key lessons from how to win friends and influence people. Avoid criticism, condemnation, or complaints. Criticism triggers defensiveness. In the workplace, instead of saying "you're wrong," ask questions to guide improvement. Give honest appreciation. Recognition motivates people more than money. Thank a colleague publicly for their contributions. It fosters loyalty. Arouse eager want. Influence works when actions align with desires. A salesperson showing how a product solves a customer problem gains cooperation. Become genuinely interested in others. Ask questions and listen actively. Networking thrives when people feel valued, not impressed. Remember names. Names signal respect. In meetings or online communities, using names builds rapport instantly. Be a good listener. Encourage others to share their ideas. Employees or friends are more receptive when they feel heard. Talk in terms of others' interests. Align communication with their priorities. In management, show how tasks help career growth. Appeal to nobler motives. Frame requests around integrity or purpose. People respond to identity-driven incentives rather than commands. Dramatize ideas. Use storytelling or vivid examples. Presentations, pitches, and social media content become memorable. Challenge people. Framing tasks as challenges motivates effort and pride. Competitions or gamified goals boost engagement. These lessons demonstrate that influence is psychological, relational, and empathetic, not manipulative or transactional. Practical application. Applying Carnegie's principles isn't about memorizing techniques. It's about embedding empathy and understanding into daily interactions. Start by consciously listening more than you speak. In meetings or team projects, ask open-ended questions and let others explain ideas before offering your perspective. This builds trust and collaboration. Next, acknowledge contributions and improvements, no matter how small. Public recognition in the workplace or sincere praise in personal relationships reinforces positive behavior and motivates continued effort. Similarly, use names and personalized communication to make people feel seen and valued. When influencing others, frame suggestions around their interests and higher values. Instead of commands, ask questions that guide them to solutions, making them feel ownership over the outcome. For example, in remote teams, explain how a task aligns with both company goals and personal growth. Mistakes to avoid: empty flattery, overpraising trivial actions, or using principles manipulatively. Authenticity is essential. Influence works best when it's genuine, empathetic, and aligned with human psychology, not forced or transactional. These applications turn Carnegie's 30 principles into actionable strategies for work, relationships, and daily life. Critical analysis. How to win friends and influence people is timeless because it focuses on human behavior, not superficial tactics. Its strongest point is teaching that influence comes from empathy, respect, and understanding, skills that remain vital in any era. Carnegie's use of real-life examples makes abstract principles practical. However, some advice can feel overly formulaic or idealistic, and the examples reflect 1930s social norms, which may not translate perfectly to today's diverse, digital, and fast-paced environments. Despite this, the psychological insights remain highly relevant, especially when adapted thoughtfully to modern workplaces and online interactions. Conclusion and action plan. In summary, Carnegie's book teaches that influence is built on empathy, respect, and understanding, not force or manipulation. Key takeaways: avoid criticism, give sincere appreciation, listen actively, appeal to others' interests, and guide behavior with subtlety and encouragement. Action plan. Start today by consciously listening more and praising one genuine improvement in someone around you. Observe their response and reflect on how small gestures build trust. Repeat daily to make these principles habitual. Remember, influence grows through consistent, authentic human connection. Small, intentional actions create lasting impact.